What's going on, everybody? This is your main man, Uncle E. We is here with the EBL Experience, Season 2, Episode 2. Always to the right, got my main man, Dr. Ted.
Yeah.
From across from me,
yeah.
B.
What's up?
And ladies and gents, we have a very, very special guest to the EBL team. He's no stranger. We have Coach Curtis Johnson in the house, y'all.
Yeah, we need the all
right,
clapping effect.
Man, we need our clap machine when we have important guests over here. What's going on, Coach?
Oh man, nothing. Just coming in, just excited about this podcast tonight, getting it started. I know you had your family reunion today.
I did.
So I know you're a little tired, so
Coach,
so you don't have to carry me. I've done a couple of these before.
I appreciate you, Coach. I don't want you to get me running no drills outside and everything. Take it easy on me, Coach. But we do appreciate you for coming on the show. Just a busy time for you and everything. So we do appreciate you a lot.
Yes, we do.
Definitely.
We do, definitely.
So let's get it started.
Yeah. So I have a question.
Okay,
so let's start at the beginning. Where did you get your start from, and is coaching always what you wanted to do?
Absolutely not. I never thought I'd ever be a coach. I never really wanted to be a coach. I want to always be the high school or elementary school teacher, special ed teacher. I wanted to change the world through teaching, showing youngsters how to do things different. And I kind of fell into coaching. I was teaching at a high school in Lewiston, Idaho, and the students ran me out of there. It was just too much for me to handle the students.
Wow.
So my coach's father, it was Dennis Erickson and Keith Gilbertson, their fathers would always tell me, you'll be a great coach, you'll do a great job. And then Coach Gilbertson offered me a job, to come in and coach at the University of Idaho, and that's where it started.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Because I know a lot of coaches, they're having a hard time making that transition from high school to college, and I guess even college to the league. And so that's great. Could you explain it? How would that process go?
Yeah, I was fortunate having great people around me. Really was an astute listener to guys who coached in high school. And look, I'm telling you, all of it is different. High school is different, more hands-on. High school is more into the students, more into understanding schedules. It's very demanding. You're running the whole program yourself. You're doing everything from being a doctor, the nurse, the trainer. Mm-hmm. You're doing a little bit of everything. Whereas in college, it's two-faceted. I would say it's one, coaching and development, and then the second portion of it is the recruiting. Yes. I mean, in college, you got to be in recruiting. And then in the pros, everybody's good. The worst team you can ever think of, I don't know what team that is. They're good. Mm-hmm. So the preparation is like, you won't even, in college, you won't even scratch the surface of the stuff we do in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So I was very fortunate doing all three of them. But all of them are different. All of them are definitely have different characteristics, different distinctions. It's almost three different jobs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
That's amazing.
All right.
So we want to get more into your Saints career. What does your day-to-day job look like? And do you have any input on game plan and play call?
Well, we do a systematic thing. Pretty much, I would say my day starts off, I'm going to say I'll get up at probably about 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock sometime. I always get up, do my prayer and worship every morning, then get to work, try to do a little workout, watch some film prior to, do some type of workout, exert something for about 15, 20 minutes to half an hour, maybe an hour depending on the day. And then the rest of the time we in the film. On Tuesday at 11 o'clock, we usually meet 10:30, 11 o'clock. We'll start meetings and we do it old school. Everybody is in the room, everybody's giving input. Sean is in with us. We'll go over film, everybody, we show their film, show what we're looking at, show what the defense is doing, show the philosophy, how we're going to game plan this thing. And we start making a game plan, splits, formations, plays, how we getting the ball to whom, what's their weaknesses, looking at what DBs we can go after, what linebackers or what defensive line. So we discuss it all. So as we doing it, we're putting up the game plan. As we making the game plan, Sean will make some comments on if he likes this play or that play. He will tell us the situation he's calling the plays, what plays he's calling and when, and who he wants to get the ball to. We'll comment on cut splits, wide splits, or any of those things. And as we go through, we'll build the run game first. Then we'll start with the play action, 3-step, naked, boots. I mean, it's each section we're doing. And so that first day, we'll get out of there about a little after midnight.
Midnight? I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, yeah, a little after midnight. That's probably early. The second day when we do third down, in 2 minutes, we get out there probably early, about 10.
Oh, y'all split that?
Yeah, we do every day.
So every day is something.
It's something different.
In particularly different with.
Yeah. That's how we do it, yeah. And then the last day on Thursday is goal line, short yardage, red zone. That's 3 a.m.
That's why y'all be prepared.
Yeah.
I like the terminology.
Yeah.
Naked, boot. I don't know what it means, but
See,
It's just different plays.
See, you're the reason why Mike do what he do against P because y'all be doing no mismatches.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing about it. I mean, look, if you ask me, Alvin's the biggest mismatch. I've been fortunate to be around guys like Marshall Falk, Clinton Portis, Edwin James. They were mismatched guys. Well, Alvin is that guy. Like
right.
Also. And so when you're around a guy like Alvin, first of all, you know they got to stop him because he's more. And then you want to do Drew's strengths.
Right.
What Drew did what he did well, and then Mike is the you just can't line him up in one plate. Place like in college, you look at college, one guy lines up here, one guy lines up there. So that's never in the NFL.
Yeah.
Everybody's everywhere.
Right.
So we got to do a good job of doing that with Mike, and then getting the other guys into the game playing the best we can.
And I honestly think I remember when Robert Meacham was here, he talked about where Sean liked to use certain receivers as certain roles or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So if he uses it for blocking or for deep threat or whatever.
Well, and that's what we call it. We call it job description. You know, Meach and Devery had job description. If you look at them and how they played together well because they did similar job descriptions, but they can run. And then both of them were tough. Both of them were physical. They didn't have the hands for the traffic all the time, but they really developed into great hands players. But they were deep threats. So when they were on the field, we wanted to run the ball more because we knew that the other team had to respect their speed. And so that's what we did. Then when Marcus and Lance came in, they were more option route runners and move around, guys come off the motion. And so we knew that. So they have distinct job descriptions.
Right. I always remember, I think y'all must have switched players around like more than anybody in the NFL because there'll be 7 people come in, like 6 people come in, and they'll come in like, all right, bet.
Well, and it's funny you say that. It's really different packages that we put together, and we kind of do it purposely so that the defensive coordinator, so we'll know. You can only call so many defenses, so we'll know how they're calling the game.
Right.
Sean is a master at that, okay? He's looking at this. Like with Taysom Hill's in the game, well, they looking at, well, is he a run player? First, we want to know, they treat him as a run player or pass or a blocker. Pass player or blocker. So when he's in the game, and a quarterback, so we know, we want to find that out. That's one of the questions we got to find out early on in the game.
Right.
okay. So that was something I wanted to ask. Like when you come up with your strategy, does that depend on the talent that you have?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, you got we playing the Bears. They got the defensive end. He's a great player, so we're not gonna just let him wreck our game plan. So we're gonna do some stuff too. We might, if he's on the left, we might run away from him. Certain plays we might run directly at him. But when there's a pass play, we're gonna have the mismatch, and we might have a guy motion over, double team that guy. So it's their player. It's also our player. You know, we're constantly looking at the injury report. So if they're they're $20 million corner is out the game, well, we're gonna pick on that other corner.
Right.
You know, so and I mean teams do that to us, and then it depends on our skill set, what Drew likes, what he like and what he doesn't like, and how he's gonna create the mismatch. How we gonna make them do what we want them to do by formation.
So it's all about the matchups.
Matchups. That's what it is.
You gotta win.
That's why I'm up 3 a.m.
That's it. We appreciate you at 3 a.m.
Right.
So, Coach, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Your years with Tulane, your years there, what was your what did you learn from being there, from being finally being a head coach, you running the program?
Great learning experience. Great just understanding. Until you're a head coach, you never understand all the dynamics. I think college head coach is probably more difficult than anything. High school, you got teachers, you got people. College head coach, you doing it all. I mean, you and your assistants, you got everything. You worrying about young men. You worrying about grades, academic, which we don't worry about in the NFL.
Right.
You worry about so much. Then you got recruiting, where you don't recruit in high school.
Right. Some
people do, but you don't. But you generally don't. And so you're doing so many different. You're wearing so many different hats. You got to deal with the alumni. You deal with the president. You deal with the faculty. You're dealing. You're dealing with so much stuff. And so that in itself was just a whole new thing for me. And so but that was a learning experience.
Do you have any type of regret that going there, like you think you could have did differently, or or recruiting or something? I think you're a very good recruiter.
I think we're on the right track. I think the biggest thing, and because of what happened, we moved up in a league.
Right.
But when we got there, we said we want to recruit to the Conference USA. So I'd have a linebacker give you listening to, we were listening to Reagan. I had Rohan Marley, was 5'6", but he was an outside linebacker. He's not one of our best, not Rohan, Nico, but he was one, that's his dad, Rohan, we had him at Miami. But he was one of our best players, and he was a small linebacker. Well, in that new league, he couldn't hold up quite as much. So I guess the biggest regret was recruiting the Conference USA, trying to get the fast. We were going out getting as fast as guys, and I'm telling you, our assistant coaches were magnificent at Tulane. All those guys got great jobs. They moved on. But I'm just telling you, man, it's just if I had to do one thing different, I'd have recruited a little bit different, saying, okay, maybe we're going to move up, because I never thought Tulane would get out of Conference USA.
Right. Yeah.
And when that happened, it took some time to get it back. To
develop to that skill set of what they do, because SEC is different, ACC is different.
Definitely.
I got you. I feel you.
Definitely.
I definitely do.
But that was, and I think a lot of the coaches there when I was there, I don't think any of them were there yet. I mean, the women's basketball there, but the basketball coach, baseball coach kind of struggled a little bit. Just adjusting to the different league, and then the physicalness of football. That's we just in that other league, we just weren't very physical.
Right.
We just didn't have the developmental situation.
Right.
That makes perfect sense to me.
It does.
Go ahead, Ernest.
Is it me again?
Yeah, what you got?
So, Coach, I got to know.
He said, I gotta make sure I
gotta make sure I ask this doggone question right here. And before I even ask this question, I have confidence in him. What is your confidence level in Jameis Winston? And I know me and you talked about that once before. Tell me just you could tell them what you told me basically when he first got here and everything. From all that to your confidence level in him.
So when Jameis first got here, I really wanted to hate him. There's a couple reasons why.
You say you wanted to hate him?
I wanted to hate him. I really did. So understand my background. I'm a University of Miami. He's Florida State.
Florida State.
So look, when I was coaching at Miami, now that was a rivalry.
Right.
That was a true. I mean, if you go back and look, it was wide left, which we won most of them. I mean, it was our biggest.
During that time too, I think the rivalry was just. It was. I think during your time in Miami, I think it was just more heated.
It was heated.
It was very heated
because it was the biggest.
Both of y'all was good.
If you look at it. It was the biggest. It wasn't Alabama. It was Miami and Florida State. It was. Now, you look at Alabama, LSU. It was those two, and so we knew the championship was coming through the state of Florida, and Florida would never play us. But so that was the one thing I really didn't. I had a little bit of disdain for Florida State. I had a bad taste in my mouth. The reason why, they were good. They were well coached. Bobby Bowden did a phenomenal job. I'm telling you, they had great coaches, great players throughout. Then Jameis had an altercation, I'm gonna say 2 years ago, when he wasn't playing in Lattimore.
Talking about I remember.
Lattimore was kind of getting into it with
Evans.
Evans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so Jameis comes off the sideline and slugs Lattimore.
Right.
Yeah.
I
I'm
remember.
like,
Yeah, I
wait a
remember
minute.
that too.
I remember.
You're injured. You're
Right.
not even dressed out.
Right.
And you want to fight. And so I was like, God,
Right.
this guy. And so I was one of the ones like, Sean, you know what you're doing? He was like, man, I love James. I love him. But great talent, great arm talent. And Sean's very analytical. When he does stuff, he just doesn't do it. Sean and Mickey, those guys. You ask them, they'll tell you the reason for it. So I'm like, But I'm telling you now, and I got to see him work last year, very humbled under Breeze. And Breeze is a great leader. Breeze doesn't, demand things like that.
Right.
Under Taysom, never heard anything with, I should be starting, I should be playing. But he is a workaholic. He's almost a worker to a fault. And so I talk to Traquan all the time, and Traquan is like, he said, hey man, look, I ran a comeback and Jameis missed the throw. I had to run 10 comebacks. Well, that's about a 30-yard route if you go down and go out. Whereas Drew would say, okay, spot up. That'd be a 20-yard, a 10-yard route.
Right.
But he's continued throwing it. And these receivers running 30 yards downfield fast as you can just to get timing. That's the kind of guy Jameis is. Last one on the field. He's always doing something. And so you got to respect that about him. Now, I don't know how good he's going to be, but I think he's going to be phenomenal for us this year. I think both of those guys are.
Traquan?
I'm saying him and
Taysom?
And Taysom. I think Taysom does a great job too. Taysom is a hard worker, tough. If you say Taysom Hill, I'm thinking a tough guy. Think a guy with muscle, guy gonna run, guy gonna throw, guy gonna do everything.
He gonna do it all for
He
the
gonna
team.
do whatever
He gonna
it
lay it
is.
on the
He
line.
gonna lay it on the line. When you say Jameis, man, God, this guy works. I never seen a guy last on the field every day. Just workaholic.
He want to be great.
And I honestly, I know people take the negative, at least last year in Tampa Bay, but I honestly say, but he still threw for 5,000 yards. I say that's still tough to do.
But coach, the interceptions though, I'm not gonna say we. I am nervous about that. Okay, it scares me. What's your take on that?
Well, I think this. You never like turnovers. That would if you look at us, if you go back and look at the history of the Saints, when we lost in the playoff, it might have been about a big play. It was about turnovers.
Right.
We'll turn the ball. Go back. We had 4 turnovers in the Tampa game, and not saying that they didn't beat us or wouldn't have, but I think if we would have turned the ball over, I really feel that we would have won the game. If we could stop these turnovers. And so when you look at why he turned the ball over and what he was doing to turn the ball over, you can appreciate him trying to win for his team. Now, some of them we all do make mistakes, but I'm telling you what the offensive line, what they had a couple years ago, and how they were always behind. Their defense, Tampa's defense is so much better now. They got a much better offensive line. He was playing from behind all the time. He was just, one time after another. But I can say one thing about James. James beat us. I can tell you what happened. I still remember. We in Tampa. We got the game run. We wrapping up this seed. All of a sudden, his guy went down on the sideline. The last play of the game, he runs for about 30. And his guy went on the sideline. Next play, there's no way they could have won. That's how they beat us.
Week 17,
You got it.
Yep, I remember.
Last week.
Coach, I'm a dog Saints fan, and I remember stuff that pisses me off, Coach.
Then you look at the Atlanta game against him, and he threw for 340 on him, 340 and 4 or 5 touchdowns. He could do it.
Right.
He could do it. Both of those guys.
I just think he's just pure talent. Like you can see why. Who recruited him? Jimbo. I can see why Jimbo recruited him, and I would like to think Jimbo is like one of those QB gurus that train the QBs up right for whoever. A lot of quarterbacks he trained up, and the quarterback that want to play with him.
Right.
But James winning the national championship. I think he showed a lot of leadership.
Well, he's a winner.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
He's
the number 1 pick. I just think he's 25 years old.
A young kid.
That's what I'm saying.
My bad, not a kid no more.
Right,
I'm almost 60,
right.
Not a kid.
But he's 25, huh?
Yeah, he's about 25.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
So,
Right.
if everything goes right, we are looking at maybe 6-7 more years of winning still.
Well, and then I would say this: Sean's always talks about his vision. I think he has a clear vision for both of those guys. If it's Jameis, we doing this. If it's Taysom, we doing this. I think Sean and Sean has it. So,
I think it worked.
So I mean, look, I think he's gonna be good.
Right. I think so too.
Well, I can't lie to you, Coach. I need Jameis to make a believer out of me.
That's okay. You know what? I'm gonna say this about it. I'm a big critic. You know, he's turned me. He's turned me.
I'm waiting on that moment. I'm
So
not
what you
gonna
think
lie.
about that video that went viral of him?
Which one?
That little
You didn't see
QB
it?
drill he was doing
The
with the
QB
broom.
drill?
Yeah. Well,
Was he playing? Like
everybody does that drill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
that's
It
a
just so
normal drill?
happened that
Yeah, I mean,
it came out with him.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. I mean, we do that with Brady. They got the drum, the bats. I mean, they do that drill. I think I saw what you talking. And then the same video they threw down field of Traquan.
Right.
They were talking about I saw. Yeah, I mean we do that in practice.
Right. It's all good.
So that's just something the public and the
Yeah,
fans
you know,
don't know.
you-
We just
yeah.
think
I'll
it's
tell y'all, Coach, man, look, Coach made me a believer in Andrews Pete. Remember what I told you about Pete, Coach? Y'all know how I feel about Pete. He changed my mind. I said, well, maybe I was too hard on Andrews.
Well, Andrews is an athlete, and he's a player that can play multiple positions. When you're in the NFL, you're gonna bring 7 offensive linemen into the game. So that's one of the big benefits of Andrews. And if you look around the league, the number of guards that are doing what he's doing, there ain't very many.
Right.
So you got to say, okay, and this is what I tell people all the time. They say, well, you need to go out and get a receiver, coach. I had a guy in a restaurant last night, about 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, you need another receiver. I said, okay, where am I going to get him from? Popeyes. It just don't happen. I mean, you don't know.
Right.
There ain't that many people at 6'5",
Right.
and with 300 pounds that can run and do some of the things in physical that Andrews could do. Now, we looking at him, we say, he messed up this play and he did this or he did this wrong. But look what those other people playing with.
Right.
And
Right.
we win in 13, 14 games a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's doing something.
Right, doing
and we
something.
always rank the best offensive line in our division. Well, I just saw an article say, sorry, Tampa, the Saints' offensive line is better. And, so, and if we got that, we're going to protect the quarterback and we're going to be able to run the ball.
I think
So we can do those two things.
I think I'm more excited about our O-line this year for the first time ever because it reminds me of the 2009 O-line we had on our Super Bowl year. Like 2006 also we had a good line, but that 2009 year with Streif and
Carl Nixon.
Nixon, Nix.
God,
It hurted me when he went to Tampa Bay. Jari.
Yeah. Well, and is our problem. I think our scouting department does such a great job.
Yeah.
You can't keep them all.
I agree.
Yeah.
You can't keep them all.
You're just trying to, look, I love Sanders.
Right.
I love Ted Ginn, but you just can't.
You can't keep them.
You can't keep them.
everybody.
And I think Eric McCord is going to be. I think this year. I think he might be top 3 center this year.
I think I know he's the best center in the NFC. Right, just watching tape right now, I would say he's the best, and I would say in the top 3 in the league.
Wow,
He's a phenomenal player. This kid is, and I can call him kid because he's young. This kid just got married. This kid, he can play. He's a flat out. Jeff Allen did a great job finding him. Flat out player, tough as nails.
I love to hear
How
that.
you feel about what was the regulation? Ruiz?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You got a vision for a player, and again, we talk about it all the time. So he's a center, high grade.
Right.
Then you got McCoy, who you figure, okay, we can move one of these guys to guard. Well, McCoy to me is one of the best centers in the league now. So you're talking about, okay, now I got to take this kid who played center all his life, and I got to move him to guard in his first year. So that's a little challenging for a rookie, and especially playing on that right side, the physical side. So I would tell you, I think he's going to be better.
Oh, gotcha.
And I'm not going. Now for him, he's athletic. He's bigger than you think.
Right.
The sky's the limit. Now, can he do it at center? I mean, at guard. Let's wait and see.
I think I've seen a little prime. I mean, I do understand what you're saying. I did see some mistakes there with that, but I think it's a lot of promise in that young guy.
As a rookie, you in and you playing and you look. And I tell everybody all the time, God, we won 14.
Right.
How many teams would love to win 14?
Right.
You know,
Or even consistently every year just be winning.
Yeah.
You know.
just a winner.
Right.
Because you go around the league, teams that win the Super Bowl and they win
Drop
2.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and look, it's funny. Look at the 49ers last year. Then look at the right. You know, Rams 49, they beat us. This all of a sudden, you know, look what happened to New England. I mean, even they take a little bit of a
Right.
But one thing about Sean, we've been pretty consistent with him.
Now let me ask you this.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Speaking
ma'am. Excuse me.
speaking of the Rams, did y'all as an organization, the Saints as an organization, take that blown call as hard as we as fans did?
Well, it's just look, it's really tremendously hard for us because the work we put in, you know, the 3 a.m. shots, and you game plan this play. We knew exactly what was going to happen. They screwed it up, and the guy had the wherewithal to find it. And if we mess up that big, we'll lose our jobs. Where a ref can just blow a call and do whatever. It was tough for us, but as coaches in anything, in college, in high school, you got to move on quickly. You know, we don't have the luxury to sit around
Can't dwell on
and dwell on it because
Because we've been holding it.
Look, in 2
we
weeks,
still mad.
we're going to Indy. You know, we're going to find the next crop of talent. Or the next day on your desk, you got a packet of free agents. You know, okay, you got to look at these free agents we want. So you kind of, I mean, you can stew about it a little bit, but you just gotta move on.
Coach, I cried, Coach. Coach, I think I pitched something at the wall, Coach. Coach.
That was hurtful.
Coach,
That was hurtful,
Coach,
man.
I never felt a loss like that since 2011 in the NFC divisional game against the
San
49ers.
Francisco. I remember that too.
I never felt no hurt like that since that year, and that still to this day it bothers. That bothered me more than the Minnesota Miracle. Minnesota Miracle was our era.
It was.
I could take our era, but when somebody just take it from you, and you can, it's like somebody punch you in your face and you can't get your lick back. You feel what I'm saying? Like they running, you chasing, and you just can't get them. That's how it feels. I want my lick back.
Well, you know, coaching is a big curse of the gift. So I've had 2. I had that one, and then I was on a national championship team when Ohio State beat us, and it was a phantom PI.
2001, huh?
Yeah, well, 2002. We won in 2001.
That was a crazy.
The game was over. The guy was playing 2-man. We still waiting for any contact in the game because Glenn Sharp didn't touch him.
Right.
Didn't touch him.
I remember.
And about
I remember
the latest flag ever. The flag just thrown out because the game was technically over. They had to pop the fireworks and they did everything. I mean, it was, and so that was another one. I
forgot about that one.
Defeat, but like I said, I've been part of 2 of them. That was just crazy. Right. Both pass interference called, one called and one not called.
Right.
And both of them didn't go in my favor.
Just the bad, just definitely the wrong call.
The curse of the gift.
Speaking of cornerbacks, Coach, real quickly, I heard certain things about Richard Sherman. Is that all true?
I mean, you're always looking for good talent.
Right. Are we close into getting them? I think Sean interested.
You know what? Right now, I don't know. You know, what you got to look at, and when you talk about who you're getting,
right? You
got to look at the money.
Yeah.
You know, so
important.
whenever guys tell me, well, we close, even around, well, we close to getting this receiver, we close to getting this corner. Well, how we gonna work the money?
Right.
Yeah.
If we know that, but I'm sure Richard probably would love to come here. I would love to play here.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and his old coach is here, Chris Richard. He's here. You know, and so I mean, good player, still can play,
right.
Still can do some things, but. You know what it's going to be about. You know, nobody's giving any money back.
So we'll see.
So that's right.
So we'll definitely see.
So,
I got you.
So I want to ask about a draft.
Okay.
Particularly the draft that we passed up Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Is there any regret within the organization on passing up such what turned out to be an amazing talent in that draft?
Who did we get that year?
I believe it was Marshawn Lattimore.
It wasn't Marshawn. I think Marshawn was 17. I think Lamar Jackson was 2018. Right? Am I correct? Lamar Jackson was 18.
I'm trying to
Let's fact check
remember,
it.
but
because Marshawn was high.
Marshawn was
He's
like
like-
seventh,
Yeah,
eighth pick.
like-
And that was the same draft with the offensive line with just signed him.
Ramchick.
Ramchick.
Yeah.
Same draft with Ramchick. I don't know if that one. Did you find it?
Oh.
Oh no. So here's how the draft goes. You as we going through the draft, we looking at Drew. Okay, what can he do? Can he continue to, play at a high level? And we figured he was still had some time left, which he did. I mean, he got us to 14. And so then you're saying, okay, what else is our needs on this team that if we pass this one, we may be able to get him at one in free agency. But I know if Lamar Jackson played for the Saints, we got to do two things. We got to change everything that we do, and we also just gonna give Drew $30 million because we just got to cut him,
right?
Or we're gonna set Lamar on a bench for a year or two while Drew finishing his contract. So you're almost saying, well, wait a minute, do I want Alvin or I think it was what was it, McCoy?
Eric McCoy.
McCoy, do you want, because we had Lamar on campus and loved him. I mean, absolutely loved him. I'm just trying to remember who we did, or did we have a pick to get him that year?
I honestly forgot who was that
thinking
guy.
who-
Was it
Right
Marcus
now.
Williams? No, it wasn't Marcus.
Marcus was fourth.
Yeah, right.
He was that year. I think it was. Yeah, I think you're right. I can't think of who.
because I
I'm
know
gonna tell you who it was. It was Davenport.
it was Davenport.
It was Davenport.
We got
And-
Davenport at
and-
16.
Right, and I know the thinking of that.
It was
That was like,
Davenport.
okay, here we go. Now who's our defensive end? We really don't have one.
Right.
At the time, and the other kid played well going to Cincinnati.
Hendricks
played well.
Hendrickson, yeah.
So Davenport was the biggest guy, whatever, height, weight, speed guy. And so we said, we better do something on defense. And I would tell you, defensively, we've been playing better. Just a lot better.
I'm not gonna lie.
I agree with
lot
that.
better the first time I was here.
I mean, I do criticize Dennis Allen a lot, but I can say that he's doing something right for us to be top 3 in run defense and top 10 in overall defense at that.
Well, look, I would tell you this: if you can stop the run in the NFL,
You're right.
you're gonna win. You're gonna win a lot of games.
That's what Cam said.
You can stop the run and create a lot of create turnovers. You're gonna get a playoff run.
Right.
If you can stop the run, create turnovers, and then have some big plays, if you do those 3 things, you're probably gonna win the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
Just go back and check it out.
That's the formula.
Yeah,
That's the formula.
not coach.
Or run the ball.
Not coach. Were y'all? Now I think this is the year we got Marshawn in the first round. Well, was we about to get Patrick Mahomes?
It was a discussion. It was a discussion that we had to get a corner.
Right.
I mean, and so people don't give Marshawn enough credit. I think. Now he may get beat on some plays, but all of them.
Everybody,
do.
yeah.
I watched the kid from Ramsey get tested roasted one game. That's my little football language.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, we have not had a corner like Marshawn. Now, I love Jabari Greer. I love Tracy Porter. Marshawn's a lot. It's a physical corner now. He is something. Now, sometimes he's out of place, no big deal. But I'm telling you, this guy, I watch him do some stuff. And if you follow the ball, you won't see it. But if you just watch him, he would take some guys out of games.
Like Julio.
Look.
Julio was
Like
getting
Julio.
nothing.
Like Evans.
Him too.
So
Him
that was the fight about.
Right, yeah.
That's why
Evans was frustrated.
Evans was leading the world in reception, if you remember. Man, he just, I mean, it was like knock the ball off, jam you, and so I would if you tell me, okay, and look, so when I was in Chicago, that was the Mahomes discussion. Who's gonna be? So I thought it was going to be the kid that went to Texas, Deshaun, and then Ryan Pace like, no, we don't want him. Then it was, and I said, well, it got to be Mahomes. He's like, well, Mahomes not really a winner. 5-5. He's a 500 quarterback. Had some turnovers. He's still a riverboat gambler. But I knew Sean loved him when I got down here because that was the first So I say, CJ, look, this Patrick Mahomes is a good player. So, but the way the draft shakes out, you just kind of, you have your mock drafts and you pick and you put them all up on the board. This your first round. This what these teams need. You put what they need. So they're going to pick this guy if he's here. So that's how you got to play the game. So we play that game all the time. So if Mahomes would have fell to us, we would have probably taken him. But it didn't. It just didn't work out where we could have. I think we picked the next pick.
Yeah, and I think y'all. Yeah, and Reed picked him.
They hopped in front of us.
Right, they traded it from the Cowboys. I think, old punks. But anyway, I honestly think y'all as an organization, y'all draft really well. And
I agree.
An article came out saying that Sean Payton's worst draft bust was Cedric Ellis.
I take it.
And I said the same thing because I was like, that's not bad.
I take it
because he went to the Jets and he still was a starter.
Not only that. Cedric was on our Super Bowl team, right? Or did he just miss it?
I think he just missed it. I think he just missed it.
But playoffs when he was there. It was just one playoff after another. And so I remember him being injured, but he was he was a good player for us.
Right.
I don't think, to me, the draft you don't hit on great players like we did with Kamara. That one draft with Kamara and Ramczyk, all those guys.
Right, that was a home run.
When you hitting like that, you gotta have that rabbit's foot in your pocket. But if you got a player that's coming in, he's playing for you, he's doing the job, you're winning games, then you wanna get better. You always want to get better, but it's not recruiting. It's still a draft.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
So you know what time it is.
What?
Top five.
Top five time?
Top five.
We like to ask people they top five. Whatever.
Top five.
Okay.
Something like that.
Top five question for this week.
So this is a no-brainer.
What's that?
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Top five receivers currently in the league. Top five receivers.
He got to do top five.
Yeah, I know.
He coach.
We want to know both.
No.
Let us
I'm
get
just
both.
saying.
Let us get both. We want top five current receivers and your top five receivers you personally coach.
Well, so in the league right now, you look at the kid, and I watch them all, and you got to look at two things. You look at what's their redeeming quality. What do they do that other people can't do? I would say you crazy not putting Mike in the top five. I'll tell you why. I would have Mike in the top five because his short area quickness for a guy that's 6'4" it's incredible. And me and my son, we were talking about this the other night. He can separate like no one else, and he's courageous, and he got great hands, and he doesn't drop the ball. But I'm gonna give you five other guys since Mike's on my team. And you could say, well,
being biased.
Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
biased.
But we agree he is in the top.
Definitely.
You gotta take the kid from Green Bay. I had him at the Pro Bowl. I mean, he's a good kid, man. Just route runner, quick feet, great hands, great back shoulder downfield. Other guy from Buffalo is another one.
Okay.
Man,
Diggs.
Diggs.
Yeah,
Is
Diggs.
just I just watch him. I'm a fan of. I think they're gonna do. Him and Sanders gonna light the league up. Then Julio. I mean, you got to put Julio in there. Just long speed. Now injury prone, but long speed he could do some. He could do some things that he could stretch a field like no one else. I mean, this guy here.
Right.
He could just do some stuff. Who else I got? I don't want to give you too many Alabama kids. The kid at I call them all kids. Like I say, I'll be 60 this year. The kid at Arizona.
Oh, Hopkins.
He's just a ball catching. I'm just gonna catch it and look. You can't do nothing about it.
Right.
There ain't nothing anybody gonna do that's gonna stop me. And then I'm gonna pick somebody that you might not be a fan of, but this guy reminds me of RoboCop, the kid in Seattle.
DJ
Metcalf. I mean, with the blend of size and speed that he has, catching radius, and I thought he's a little stiff coming out, and he is. But you can put Ridley in there, great route runner. You got the kid from Minnesota, the two guys from the Rams.
Jefferson, huh?
Yeah, you can put all those guys.
I like Jefferson. I like Jefferson a lot.
But I'm just telling you, this daggone DK Metcalf is
The way he ran down that interception.
this guy's going special talent.
I remember watching that. I was like, ooh.
Like a lion on the gazelle.
That's why I call it robot.
I like him in that Jalen Ramsey matchup.
That was a heated one. That was a nice one.
That's what makes him because he didn't back down.
Right.
You know, he the young kid didn't back. And they got the other kids. You know, the guy from Minnesota, the kid, and the Rams guys. I like those.
Like,
guys.
do they do?
And now I would tell you who I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping on the Kansas City guy. The guy 0 to 60, man. He got to be there.
Oh yeah.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, he got to be in there. But it's what your preference is. The thing playing for us. You know, he's gonna have to do some stuff a little bit different. Now we're gonna accent it because man, you got Alvin Kamara and you got guys who can do some other things. So you got to put Hill in there somewhere. But I gave about 6 or 7 guys. But it's just hard. But that's,
top 5s are hard.
They're all hard. They're all hard, especially the quality. Now as far as who I coach, I mean, look, I've coached some guys now. You know, I got the kid right up the street, Reggie Wayne. I mean, you got him. You know,
that's our John Nerritt alum right there.
Yeah, John Nerritt, Patriots.
Yeah, I've never seen a guy that makes. And one of my things I preach to my players, make it all look the same. Reggie had all of it. Hands, great hands, best hands. I mean, he's another one on the same teammate, Santana Moss. You talking about quick and fast, quicker than he can catch, athletic, can triple jump, long jump, run 100, run to 60. And our third one on that, Andre Johnson was just. I mean, he
a beast.
You tell me if he ever had a quarterback, he's probably the best overall. You know,
he did what he did without one.
What? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, you just watch him, just physical, can run, can do all those things. You know, Mike's in there. He's in there. Colston, Marcus. I mean, just down. I've never seen a guy. It's what they do. You know, I can. Think about those guys. I can tell you what they do. God dog it, Marcus Colston, the best guy run down the seams I've ever seen. He controls the seams like no one. And he'll take some hits and come down with it. You know, I talked about Mike. You know, you got some of the stuff that I got guys, older guys. You Teal Green. You never materialized in the NFL, but good grief, first round pick. I had a kid back at San Diego State named Darnay Scott that was just played about 10 years in the league and was just phenomenal.
Right.
So I mean, I've coached some guys.
Yeah.
And look, and so I had Hurricane.
I mean, you coach a lot of talent.
Look, I heard Coach Hurricane Hester.
Right.
I've coached Reggie Bush. I've coached.
Right.
You know.
I mean, you coach at the U, and I could just know that on the offensive side, you came across.
So how many championships you got?
Well, I actually got 1 national championship and I got 1 Super Bowl championship.
Oh, that Super Bowl.
That's
dope. A lot of coaches can't say that on both levels.
Look, that's hard to do.
That's hard to do.
There was like 24, 25 at one time a couple years ago that had both. But that's tough.
How did you snag Ed Reed?
Well, so my friend was his uncle Otis.
Okay.
And so I lived on First Street. Ed Reed lived right 2 streets over from me on Turtle Creek in St. Rose.
Oh, y'all was neighbors.
So, Otis would tell me when I was at San Diego State, I mean, I got a little nephew. He used to call, I think, Puka. Ed was like 19 years old. We was bragging on Ed. You know, every year I'd come back, it was Ed. Well, watching the film of Ed, he was just athletic, played all kind of different positions, played quarterback, running back. And so you didn't know. So Chuck Pagano came down, who was his DB coach, who was a head coach in the NFL, and John, his brother, was at the Saints. So we go to Destrehan High School, and that was when we was at Miami, limited scholarships. I was trying to talk Ed into getting taking a track scholarship. And we ended up watching the film. I said, okay, I'm going to tell Ed he got a track scholarship. So Chuck's brother, John, who was at the Saints at the time, John said, well, I don't know if he can play for y'all at Miami, but he sure can play for us at the Saints. So that's why we decided to take Ed Reed. But he's just great talent. Ed's like a brother to me.
Right.
So y'all had, all the time. I'm sorry, y'all had to use the track scholarships.
Well, we had to
make up for
Butch Davis.
That's smart.
That's what I'm talking about college coaching. Butch Davis was a mastermind at Finale. That's why we got back so quick, because you imagine taking 30, I think we had 30 scholarships, maybe even more, that we lost. So you only had 85, so 30 guys on your team just gone.
Right.
So you can't even practice a couple injuries here and there, you
done.
got 22 and 22. That's 44 right there, and that's with everybody healthy. You got a couple kickers and quarterbacks. That's just too deep. So you can't play with 3 receivers, whatever. So I thought Butch did a masterful job getting that program back. He and Pete Garcia getting the program back, getting it where it should be, and it happened quick.
That's crazy, man. It's funny that you say Marcus Colston, one of your top people recruit. I remember I met him the same day he was inducted in the Saints Hall of Fame. Cheesecake Bistro. I kept saying I'm gonna take a picture with him, but I said I don't want to sit right eating. I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna take a picture.
Good guy.
Yeah, he's nice guy. Nice guy.
That's one of. Well, I'm saying one of them, but he's a lot of guys I continue to communicate with all the time. Him, Ted Ginn, Ed Santana. I mean, a bunch of those guys. I do, but he's one of those guys.
So who was better, Marshall Faulk or Alvin Kamara?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
I would say,
I said it on purpose because they like the same players.
It's easy to me.
They're the same players to me.
I would say this: Marshall helped Peyton when Peyton got in the league.
Yeah,
like Peyton Manning. Yeah,
he helped him. So you say, okay, they so similar. I would say Alvin's a little bit more physical runner, and Marshall may be the best receiver I've ever seen. Now, Alvin's a good receiver.
He is.
That dang Marshall can do some stuff. So again, what's their redeeming qualities? Little different qualities that are better, but I love coaching both of them.
Gotcha.
Being around both of them.
Gotcha.
So, Coach, on every episode that we ever have, we do. This is the EBL experience, so we always end the episode with what's your experience, and so we want to know from you. What could you tell us about your most memorable experience in any locker room that you've been in?
Well, 2 things. I was blessed to have. Just winning the Super Bowl was just the craziest thing. And my experiences through my kids. All my kids got to go to the game, and all my kids probably older than you guys.
Right.
They all went to the game, and it was funny. They tell a story. With 3 minutes left in the game, they told them, go to the elevators. If your team win, run on the field. If your team lose, run out the stadium. That's true story. So this happened at the Super Bowl in Miami. So they down with 3 minutes left. Everybody in the holding cell, all the wives from both teams, they looking. All of a sudden in the tunnel, in the elevator, everybody hear the yelling and screaming, ah! It was Tracy Porter's interception. But my wife and kids didn't know who won the game.
Because they're in the elevator.
They're in the elevator. They're in the holding cell. Everybody's like nervous. They tears. And so when they got out, the point to the field. So they ran to the field. And then our coach people just walked out.
I don't like that.
And so that was one. And then winning the national championship at Miami. And I'm telling you, that was like, we came so close so many times. The year before, we lost week 2 to Washington, which we should have won. I take the blame, and I said, Tanner had a bad ankle. I played him. He caught one pass for 6 yards. Probably shouldn't. Reggie played well. Probably should have played some other guys. But right. I mean, and so all of a sudden, man, we ended up losing Washington 35-31. And we didn't lose another game for 3 years until we went to Ohio State. But just the Nebraska game, man, in the locker room, prior to the locker room, before the game, and this is an Ed Reed story. Larry Coker was the head coach. He was from Oklahoma State. He coached both of those players. They played Nebraska. So Nebraska had put 70 on him.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, Nebraska was something else. So he was talking to him and Hine about, Nebraska, man, they'll get that option going in this. Ed Reed stood up and say, hey, coach, enough. We Nebraska now. We're gonna put 7 on.
Yeah, we're gonna put
so then at half the game was really over. It was just fun. I was in the press box. I got to go on the field, and it was one of those moments where when you celebrate your family there, and my father was still living. He got to enjoy it,
right?
And it was just one of those. Those two things were big deals, but they were great experiences for me.
So one of my favorite players was on that roster. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor.
Oh, recruited him.
What?
Recruited Sean.
Wow.
His dad, Pete Taylor, and look, Sean proved me wrong. I told Sean, you're going to be a linebacker. You know, no, I'm gonna be because I just say, look, you want to compete, you don't. And so
Right.
he really didn't have much. At the time, it was us and maybe South Carolina, Clemson. They would kind of look at it. He went to this little bitty school called Gulliver. And I mean, me and Andrew Swayze snuck out to watch him play. And I mean, he was a running back, and we already had a quarterback committed, Buck Ortega was committed. And so we went and watched him, and it was like he was jumping over people, hitting people. Now, he must have known we were there.
Right.
So, this Sean Payton legend grows and grows. And so, I mean, Sean Taylor legend. And so we went back the next day, but hey, we got to take him. We got to get him.
It was a story with Clinton Portis, and they said, Clinton Portis was afraid that he can't take his spot at running back, and then he was like, nah, he won't play safety. Clinton was like, he won't play safety, not running back.
Well, here's the competitiveness about UM. We would go out and sign players. Just good players, running backs, whatever.
Right.
So Butch's deal was we signed as many good players as we can and play them. So we had James Jackson. You look that guy up as a player. Edwin James, Clinton Portis.
That's just too much talent right there, man.
Jared Payton may have been the most talented of them all.
And that's
so they sent me on a mission. Guess what they told me? Go get Frank Gore. So Frank Gore was committed to Ole Miss or somewhere else. I go to Frank Gore's house. I say, okay, you scared to compete.
Right.
Why am I here? Because he lived right in the Grove. And you know, you can look to document the story because he's told the story. What? I ain't scared of nothing. He's scared to compete. So Frank ended up coming. Frank might have been the best one of them all. But Frank had 2 knee surgeries, but it was just player after player after player after player. I mean, it was.
Man, that's crazy to have that much talent. People don't understand. And that says a lot about yourself as a recruiter. And Coach, when I first met you, I know why people flock to you and want to play for you. I honestly do.
I hope so.
But it's the thing is just the fact that, I mean, golly, you had 5 great running backs on one doggone team, and you had Ed Reed and Sean Taylor, and what? Antrell Road, I think, was on the team. And
so that's crazy. That secondary for the national championship team had 5 or 6 first rounders in the secondary. And one of them didn't start because it was Kelly Jennings, first round at Seattle. Antrell was a young kid. Sean Taylor was a young kid. Ed Reed, Mike Rumph, Philip Buchanan. And I'm missing somebody else. I'm missing another first rounder out of one of those classes. Antrell, I'm missing one.
Wasn't Antrell called for that pass interference in the championship? That was him.
No, that was Glenn Sharp.
That was Glenn Sharp?
Glenn Sharp, yeah. The Phantom call.
Okay.
But it was a great second. So our practices where we had Reggie Wayne, Santana Moore.
That's crazy.
All
very competitive. I could just imagine that locker room in the U.
Oh my goodness, they would go at it.
And then I didn't know Coach at Miami.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Do you know how I found out because of the TV show that the Dwayne the Rock had?
Yes.
That's how I found out.
Yes.
How you think he doing up there at LSU?
Phenomenal. Yeah, LSU is a hard place because the expectation is so high.
Very high.
Here's the problem with this. This what killed us at Miami. The biggest thing happened in Miami, unlike some other places, players left and coaches left. I mean, you go back and look at that staff at Miami. Chuck Pagano was a head coach. Randy Shannon was a head coach. I was a head coach. Mark Stoops was on that staff. Tim Walton is in the NFL now. I mean, you just go down the list. NFL. So you constantly getting new guys. Rob Chizitsky was a coordinator in the league. You're getting new guys all the time. So Ed is trying to do the best he can to keep his coaches. All of a sudden he winning that, Joe Brady leaves.
Yeah.
So it's and then you losing players early. So what happens is all of a sudden, I remember one time we come in the office, Edwin James, he was the only one leaving. Then the next year it's Najee Davenport. So you're losing. Then the next year it's Clinton Portis leaving. Then Willis McGahe's leaving early. So some of these guys leaving. Now you got to replenish at the higher level, and we were, but you couldn't keep it up just because you got daggone Florida State right there, and then Florida right there, and then everybody not coming in the state of Florida. But that's his biggest challenge is one, I got to keep my coaches or get the best coaches I can. And two, I got to blink it. I can't let the daggone Heisman Trophy winner go to Alabama. Can't do it. What's the kid's name? I'm bad with names now. This kid just won a Heisman.
Just want to Heisman.
He's at Philadelphia.
God damn, Ernest.
The guy from A-Meat.
Yeah, he talking about
the receiver.
Smith.
The receiver.
yeah,
Juju.
Devontae Smith.
Devontae? I say Juju, my bad. Yeah, Devontae Smith.
You just can't let players like that out your state. And I think they're doing a phenomenal job keeping them in.
Yeah,
that was like the biggest player since rest in peace, Joe.
They let that boy go to Clemson.
When LSU lost out on Joe, that was big, man.
They let ATN go to Clemson.
Sure did. They sure did.
So I would say this: you can't. You before you do anything, you got to. So we would draw a line down West Palm Beach down and say we got to get them all. I mean, I almost died recruiting Devin Hester. It took me 2 years because he had to set out his first year.
I heard a good story about Devin Hester, why he set out. It was like a something happened and the NCAA had suspended him.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that was crazy about the situation.
Crazy, and then ended up passing the test anyway.
Right.
And then in the process, his house burned down. So I mean, I'm doing that.
That's a lot.
And I mean, everybody coming at him. I mean, he was a great player, though.
Right.
God, this kid can do it.
One thing, Devin Hester, I know he was that type of athlete, not like he was that dude, but I just remember him coming into the league as a cornerback for some reason. When
Played corner.
He played corner, right?
Played corner for us.
Yeah,
played corner,
that's
receiver,
what,
and running back for us.
Right.
Played all of them.
Because I know Chicago switched them up when they didn't have no type of offensive threat on the team.
What happened was Lovey drafted him, wanted him as a corner initially, but he was such a dynamic returner. You know, defense. Lovey told me all those guys want best player on defense. You know, best player on defense. That's their philosophy.
Right.
But I'm telling you, he's a talent now. That guy's there's so many of them at the U and at the Saints, but it's just talented.
Yeah,
guys.
you come across them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You come across them. You got anything to?
No, I don't. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
I learned a lot.
I did learn. I learned that you the go at recruiting. I learned that. That's what I learned today. Yes. You want somebody to recruit, you coming to get you.
You got to get them, man.
For sure.
You got to. But and look, again, I think Coach O did a great job. Got a good staff. Got good people around him. So they'll be successful.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming, Coach. We appreciate your time, your efforts, being honest with us, open. It was a really great interview, I thought.
That's it.
You know,
Coach recruited me to the Saints, man. You got me, Coach.
What can you do?
I can hold your clipboard, Coach, and make sure it don't shake when you read it.
All right, then.
I got
you know we got pictures on the sideline. And we got
I will hold that flash card up like it's nobody. I'm like,
no, we got like
I don't.
We got the iPads now.
Coach, whatever you need me to do, Coach, I could be Ernest, the iPad need charger. Yes, sir. Let's go charge it. Anything you need, Coach, I'm here for you. If you got an opening on that damn stuff, let Sean know. Let Mickey Loomis know. Uncle E's here.
I got you.
You know, you don't got to pay me shit. Just let me travel with you.
You do it for free, Ernest?
I do it for free. Just let me travel. That's it. Well, what y'all call that? Per diem? Just give me per diem.
You gonna eat?
And give me my $200 per diem or whatever they give it to the players. Who is responsible for that? The team or the league when they do the per diems?
I think it's in there a collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, cool. All right.
You know,
so
I think
right.
You know, they some things they have in there which is good for the players.
Yeah, but give me the per diem.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
Well, you want to take us out, Ernest?
I got y'all, man. Look, but I'm gonna be on the plane with Coach them,
right?
And I just meet y'all there. You know, I don't care what the hell I sit at. I don't care. They in first class. I could be in Coach. I don't care. It is what it is. I just want to be on I want to come.
Would you travel with the bags?
Huh?
Would you travel with the bags?
I would be in there with Sean Payton dog if I had to. In the same kennel. It's fine with me.
Not in the kennel.
It's in the damn kennel. I'm cool.
All right.
Shit. All All right, Coach. Well, this is the end of the episode. We, like Lady B said, we do appreciate you coming, supporting us, and I hope this ain't your last time. But I know it's about to be busy time for you, and
Very
we definitely gonna be looking. And you know, well, you know how the city support the Saints, so you definitely know it's gonna be going hard and everything. So, any last words, anybody?
Looking forward to it. Looking
Yes,
forward
yes.
to the new season. You know.
Yep.
I can't wait.
I know
That's
you
it.
probably not looking forward to your 3 a.m. Morning.
It doesn't matter.
It's all
We
good.
work till we work. Work to get it
That's
done.
it.
Oh man, I
When you
need that
win
mindset.
13, 14 games a year.
Isn't-
doesn't matter.
He's enjoying. Ain't like they 3 and 13.
Right.
Man. It's like,
Gradually.
they were like, man, I'm going home. What time it is?
Yeah, man.
Oh, good, but yes, this is Uncle E with Dr. Tig and Lady B, and again, we do have Coach Curtis here, and I always say peace and love to everybody when I get off. You know
Yeah,
what we
peace and
do.
love.
All right.
Everybody love everybody and hug everybody.
That's right.
Peace and love.
Love.
That's it. We out.